Hey Virgo, I hope you guys are doing amazing. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys have had a great, glorious birthday season. Happy birthday. But let's see, Seven of Swords, excuse me. Seven of Swords, Aquarius' vibes. A sneaky trickster. King of Wands. Somebody doesn't like your power, your glory, your ability to dare to be different, your visions, your leadership skills. Somebody's very jealous. Somebody's very envious. It's like I'm really seeing it as like a royal like past or history. You think about a king and power, and you have one of those people almost like that does everything for the king, and then they envy where the king is, so they feel like they've done all these things and they're still not getting anywhere, you know what I mean? But they've only idolized the king, and the kings aren't meant to be idolized. They're meant to be as a form of structure, a form of discipline. And so that makes, you, Virgo, look like a leader that is far-fetched. In a sense, they don't feel like they could get you. They don't feel like they could ever own up to that. So this person actually feels like they can do something to kind of take you out, or pull the red carpet from underneath your feet type of situation. They probably are trying to get to know all your vulnerable points, your weakest points specifically. You're very adaptable, you're very resourceful, you're very quick-witted as well, you're very intelligent. The way that you go about life is very you look at all the challenges and you see it as growth instead of a challenge, which has changed your mindset about handling certain challenges that have come your way. You don't see it as a damper or, a rainy day. You see it as a chance to grow and expand and learn new things. So you're always looking for new, looking for different, looking for perspectives that are not like most. Okay, so you look for somebody who has a perspective that you haven't even heard yet. You also listen to people and you listen to them deeply. You don't listen to what the words are. You listen to how they're saying it. I think that's exactly how you know when people are telling the truth or when they're not. Yeah, you have a keen vision for life, especially the way that you would like to live your life. You do live your life in a way that this life specifically allows you to live, but there's more that you would like for it to be. But there's an energy that doesn't want that to be the case. Instead, they'd like to switch positions with you. I really don't like reading energies like this where it's just a lot of negativity and hatred and shadowing, like trying to, shadow play. It's like, let me play with your shadow with my shadow. But the thing is that this person obviously is very unaware of how healed your shadow is, Virgo. You guys could definitely have Leo or Cancer in your chart. This is Aquarius energy that could be coming across as this energy. So Chinese your tiger could be. They could be Aquarius moon as well. But there's this really odd feeling of jealousy in the life that you withhold, in the life that you created, in the life that you continually live. This person's just kind of feeling like on the sidelines, like it's a far-fetched place to be where you are. Or this person's holding tightly or grasping tightly to something. It is unhealthy for them. Let's see a little bit more. This individual, Two of Wands reversed, and yeah, they can't reach their goals. Like they can't see outside of something. Two of Wands in the reverse means that they've been anticipating, but they can't necessarily make the nudge or make the move. They're still hesitant or avoiding hard truth. Could be. They could be avoiding conflict, and they could be avoiding just change in general. Like maybe they like where things are and they're too comfortable and they kind of don't know if they're ready to actually make that move. But seeing you makes them want to make that move, but then there's no potential for them to be exactly like you. So they keep taking notes in your position, I don't know, keep taking notes from you, but notes that are they're the way that they're coming about it is they want to pride themselves as better than you. They are trying to they wouldn't want to be up on the podium with you to share it. They would want to get on the podium to take you out of it. You know what I mean? Like, to put you in their position instead, switch you completely. Like, they don't have energy that's like, I'm happy for you, you know, you're doing really good. If I could be somewhere like you, this is exactly what I'd be doing. And if I was up next to you, I'd love to share this with you. Or, you know, if I ever had that opportunity. No, like, they are seeing it as, I have to be better than Virgo. I have to be better than them. I have to prove it, you know. And they're idolizing you, and they're putting you on this pedestal that you don't even want to be put on, to be honest. And you just want to show them the way to lead themselves, like you've been leading you, and they're not doing that. They're taking it as like they're gonna take over, you know, like somebody who would want world order instead of just like, here's a country, okay, thank you, I'll rule this country while, you know, you take over that part of it, whatever. You gave me a piece, thank you. No, they couldn't see it that way. They would still want to over conquer, you know, whatever. So there's a lot of pain that has to do with why this person feels this way. I don't know if they've ever just grown up and they were in an environment where, you know, it could be the mom or the dad. The mom was taking too much from the dad. The dad got, you know, crapped on pretty much by the mom. And then, you know, the kid had to watch all that. And the dad just maybe ended up drinking himself to death or whatever. And they never like allowed themselves to feel the pain or deal with the pain. They always wanted to hide the pain, run away from the pain. And maybe there was some kind of revenge sequence that happened, and, you know, they saw their parents want to take revenge out, or they saw their foster parents or guardians or whoever raised them, or whatever friends group that they had could have been like that, you know, very revengeful, wanting to get back at somebody. This is something they've just lived, they've known this. Betrayals and pains and way to hurt people, way to take people out, see their vulnerable points, etc. This is just very toxic, very unhealthy. Like, they've been around nothing but unhealthy and unhealed energy their entire life. Aries and Libra means that it's been challenging for them for a long time. All right, let's tap into your energy, Virgo. King of Wands. Five of Cups reversed is amazing. Like, it's an emotional baggage release. This is something you don't carry around with you. You have openness and love, and you don't really come from a place of pain or sorrow or hurt as much as you once did in the past, and you don't want to go back to that anymore ever. You saw from a different standpoint. You reflected on your past, and you realized, there's no way that I'm this person. This is not who I want to be. You have fought real hard, like tooth and nail, to get to the place you are now. You know, you specifically you've earned this spot. You've earned it. Like, in your own mind, you've earned it. So in real reality, God sees you earned it because you're connected to you. And when you're connected to you, you are connected to God. And God is proud, like you are proud. So whatever you're feeling is usually a reflection, in a sense. It's a sequence of what God is also feeling. So that's why it's important to listen to your intuition, and not have a false ego or false pride like this individual here has. Obviously, they don't have a connection to God. They only have a connection to something to idolize, and they're obsessed. And that's not healthy. It's not. It's obviously giving into only the negative part. There's no light in it. Okay, so if anything, this person would be all dark, would be unhealed, hasn't tried to heal, hasn't tried to progress, hasn't tried to grow, you know, only taking what you say to find ways to take you out. That's really messed up. Even getting close to you, to know you, to see where your vulnerable points can be. This is, you know, when you watch those movies that you're like, oh, I wish that this person knew what this person was up to if they knew, but they don't. You know what I mean? Like, we watch them, like, but, okay, a little bit. Something about Cancer in the reversal and Gemini in the reversal. Okay, so if you think about a Cancer in the reverse, no emotion, right? No emotion at all. If you think about a Gemini in the reverse, obviously that'll be the two-faced part of Gemini. Very betraying, very, like, deceitful, sneaky, Seven of Swords vibes, right? So yeah, this is this person. They're trying to come after you in a very not so loving type of way. Let's see, what is this person's... It's a waste of time, though. They're wasting their time. Wants to give up. They do want to give up inside. They do, because they know it's not healthy. They're not developing, increasing on any skills or skill at all, because they keep being obsessed. And then someone gives more than they take. This is definitely a feeling of what they probably did most of their life, giving and giving and giving and never receiving. But the environment that they were in was not capable of giving. Does that make sense? And they didn't know that at the time, but they still haven't realized that yet. But this is something you guys probably need to know. Now you see their vulnerable points, because when somebody's trying to come at you like this is God being like, well, karma is, I'm going to show you their vulnerable points so that you have that one up again, because God doesn't want you to fall. You don't want you to fall. You don't have any sabotaging ways. You only want to guide in the right direction for yourself and help others do the same for themselves. So someone gives more than they take. This person used to give way more than they took. And it scarred them, obviously. They had no boundaries, right? And they weren't in an environment of people giving or capable of giving. So now you have an insight of what's going on, for one, and maybe you didn't know this, but now you know. And if you've had a feeling about this, it's clarified for you. And God is saying that this person is wasting their time. And inside they want to give up because they know it's not the good thing to do, because they aren't developing on or increasing skills or any of it specifically, or like knowledge or wisdom. Nothing is being increased on. And it all comes down to the stem of them giving too much to people that only took. So death and a rebirth has to be what it takes. Yeah, I guess you guys just needed to know that. Let's see. The next 4 months, you will be able to save over, I'm getting $2,000, so your financial health is going to improve, Virgo. And you got to listen to some music. Listen to some music. Enjoy yourself. Live in the moment. And I'm very disappointed. You were telling this, maybe you're very disappointed in this individual collected to someone. So I'm very disappointed. Like, I'm sad like that. You would go and think that all the things I taught you was just for me and me only. That's not, I didn't teach you selfish ways. I taught you selfless ways, and you're using all that to come up with something degrading or, dismissive in a sense of it's unreasonable. Okay. Either way, I hope this helped in any way it could. Happy birthday again, and have a beautiful rest of your day, Virgo.